What's up, gamers? Coobs here. Welcome to the video. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel. I just came across this demo for a game called Nitro Gen Omega. It's coming out May 12th, and I hadn't heard anything about this game. I saw the demo, downloaded, played it, loved it, and so I wanted to make this quick video just kind of talking about what this game is, what you could maybe expect, get you possibly excited for this game too, because it wasn't on my radar, but now I'm really glad that it is. So this is Nitro Gen Omega. Basically, you play as a crew that are piloting a mech, and so that's basically the general concept. Is you have a mech with 4 pilots inside of it, and it's got this amazing anime art style, really cool design when it comes to the graphics and the animations. And so you've got this mech, and you get into battles with other mechs, and it's kind of a turn-based strategy game, I guess you could say. It's pretty similar to something like XCOM, if you're familiar, and there's kind of like an order to how things are going to flow between each round. So I'll jump into just a typical battle here, and you can kind of see it broken down a little bit further. So each of your 4 pilots, you have a driver, you have an engineer, you have a gunner, and then you have an operator. Each of those pilots are doing a different thing within the mech, and so in each round they can each do basically one thing at a certain point in time. And so a lot of this is kind of looking at what your opponent is going to be doing. Are they going to be attacking you? Are they going to be trying to move? And what you want to do as kind of a countermeasure to that, and then to apply some offensive pressure as well. So here I can see that my enemy is planning on shooting at me, so I'm going to have my operator use our smoke screen. So the smoke screen is going to make it so that we can evade any attacks, ranged attacks from these enemies. And then because I have these, each of my other crew members have different abilities that they can do, we kind of slot that in around the action that's already happening there in the middle. So I'm going to have my gunner fire a missile, and then I'll have my engineer reload that missile just in case I want to use the missile, next round. And then I'm going to have my driver move towards the enemy so that we can maybe engage in some melee combat. And then we begin the resolution of that. And so then everything plays out in this really cool, the animations I think are really clean, really sharp. There's a lot of detail on the characters. There's a lot of detail on the mech, and you can have different mechs. You can get different parts to upgrade your mechs. And as you get different parts for your mechs, you'll unlock basically different abilities that your different crew members can utilize. And so, for example, I have, the ability for my engineer to make an emergency dash. So usually your driver's the one who would move the mech, but because I have a certain upgrade, I can also have my engineer move the mech if I needed to. So now we're in our next round. I'm going to use my gunner to line up a shot on the enemy that we just shot a missile at. And now, because we close the distance with the other enemy, I'm going to use a melee attack. There's also basically a heat level for your mech that you have to keep in mind. And so doing certain actions will build up heat, and then you have to have your engineer utilize a coolant to cool systems down so that you don't overheat. And if you overheat your mech, then whatever action you had queued up next won't occur because you'll be overheated. So that's something that you have to kind of manage as well. So there's a lot of this decision making and micromanagement that happens between the rounds in the gameplay that's really kind of fun and interesting. And then of course, as you continue to build experience playing the game and and further out in the story, you'll come across different enemy types, and you'll have different upgrades, so you'll be able to take more damage or maybe repair your mech in the middle of combat. You'll have, you know, stronger attacks and different things like that, and your crew members are going to kind of level up from that experience as well. They're going to become more adept in whatever role they're positioned in currently. And so there's a lot of this really cool interplay that happens here. And again, this is all from a fantastic demo. Go check it out yourself if you can get your hands on it. One of the other big parts of this is that I haven't really talked about these characters that you have in your crew, but that's where a lot of the replayability in my mind comes from. And so this is going to be very much, if you're into this style of gameplay, then this will be a game for you. If you like seeing your characters more or less build and foster, you know, relationships and have these different dynamics between these characters, then you'll enjoy this game for that, because there's this whole system at play where your characters are building, you know, friendships, or maybe they're fostering rivalries, and because of that, then they can, in the midst of combat, allow each other to maybe use their action in a specific round, or give their action away, or steal an action from somebody else. And so all of this is kind of happening dynamically with these characters that are in your crew. And so when you're not in battle, you'll be flying around in this ship that's essentially like your mobile headquarters, and it houses your mech and your entire crew, and you'll continue to find different pit stops along the way where you can interact with vendors, and you can add crew members, because another huge part of this game is that all of these characters, each one of these crew members, are completely unique to you. And that's really cool too, because each of these characters, you can fully customize what they look like, and you can build these crew members and then allow them to go out and dynamically interact with each other and build these sorts of relationships and have these different events occur. And that, I think, is a really appealing part of this entire experience, is being able to go in and just kind of make some really cool original characters that have like a unique design to them, and a unique almost sense of personality that you get to kind of dictate, which is really, really quite cool. And for me, a lot of fun and interesting, just as a game to kind of chill out and vibe with. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about this Nitro Gen Omega. That's one of the things that I'm most excited about, I think, is just having a game that you can pick up and you can play for a little while, enjoy it. It's not too, it's not too serious. It's kind of just a relaxing experience. And even if you're not great at creating characters yourself, you can go in and basically regenerate the pilots, and so you can have it randomly fill with different characters for you. Or you can build an entire, collection of characters that you want the game to pull from. And so it's just really, I'm really appreciating the art style and just the direction of this game. It's one that I'm looking forward to checking out when it releases May 12th. Definitely pick it up if you're somebody who likes that kind of turn-based strategic combat. If you're a fan of like the XCOM games, there's a little bit of that feel here with some of the interplay that happens with your characters. It's really, the story is oftentimes the story that's being, told is unique to you, the player. And that's one of the things that I love. So thanks so much for being here. I have been and always will be Coobs. Peace and love, gamers.